of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
That's me.
That's you.
Chair Edwards.
Present.
Chair Lidkey. Vice Chair, sorry.
Here.
Commissioner Tippett is excused. Commissioner Anderson.
Here.
Commissioner Erickson. Here. Commissioner Snow is excused, and Commissioner Brocky.
Here. Perfect. Did everyone have an opportunity to review the minutes? Anyone have items to address or change?
I don't,
I'm going to say no.
yeah. I forget the date because I don't have the paper in front of me.
July 8th.
July 8th. I move that we pass the meeting minutes from July 8th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, there's a public hearing next. Midvale, first item on the agenda, Midvale City initiated zoning code text amendment, updating Utah State Code references in Title 17. And Johnny is presenting.
Got here a lot faster than I imagined. You got the clicker one? All right, well, it's loading up here. So this is just a few updates to a couple areas of our Title 17. The state legislature last November, they updated, used to be Chapter 10-9A, which is the Land Use Management Act that applies to cities. They updated that to 1020. And so this is mostly just fixing a bunch of the references we had, as well as any others that were inconsistent with state code. We find it meets all the first three requirements, required for approving a zoning code text amendment. And our recommendation is that you recommend approval to the city council for this. So,
Perfect.
Any questions for me?
I don't think so.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll open this agenda item up for public comment.
Seeing there is none, I move that we close the public hearing.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone, anything they'd like to say about this one? Seems simple.
No,
Okay.
seemed pretty simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
I move that we recommend approval of the zoning code text amendment updating Utah State Code references in Title 17 as provided in the attachments with the finding noted in the staff report.
I second it.
Roll call vote, please.
Chair Edwards.
Yes.
Vice Chair Lidkey.
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Erickson.
Yes.
Commissioner Brocky.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is a discussion item. To discuss the concept plan for Vista 270 at Jordan Bluffs, located at 8250 South Bingham Junction Boulevard, pods I, J, K, and L, in the Jordan Bluffs sub-areas 1 through 3 zone. Wendelin is presenting.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. I'll give a quick introduction. This is really the developer's item. And you've seen this in the packet. Our code has a certain process that we go through with this type of development. There's the initial contact, initial staff and Development Review Committee review, then the Planning Commission work session, then the large-scale master plan, and so on. So right now we are sort of at number 3, the Planning Commission work session. And our code says the following about it. the applicant presents a concept plan and comes to you at least once before a formal application is submitted. And the purpose of this work session is really to discuss the concept and to give the developer informal feedback so that the developer gets a sense if they have to maybe address certain things in the concept before it keeps on going in the process. And this implies that you really don't take any action, you just give feedback, you ask questions, and whatever interests you, I'm sure the developer can help you with.
Is someone representing the developer here?
Da, 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 da.
If you'd please state your name.
Sure,
in
yeah.
the minutes.
Good evening. My name is Brandon Watson with Edge Homes, Vice President of Land Development, also a civil engineer, so don't hold that against me, but happy to answer any questions as I go through a brief presentation here this evening. So just before I connect my computer here, I just want to, first of all, you guys have a tough job as a planning commission, so I appreciate you guys, your time this evening, and appreciate all you guys do on behalf of the citizens of Midvale City. So as Edge Homes, I've worked for this company for 13 years, and I don't think we've yet to build a home within Midvale City, and we're genuinely excited to be here and excited to be able to build and be part of your community and help your community grow. So we appreciate all that you guys do on behalf of our future buyers. So, but what I'm going to present to you tonight, I'll just pull up a concept plan here. Hopefully this works. But as you are all probably very familiar with this area, let's see if this connects. I see it on. There we go. You're all familiar with this area down by the Zions Bank building off Bingham Junction Boulevard. This is part of a Superfund site. I always joke around it's a Superfund site because there's a lot that goes into this. And the concept that you guys are going to see before you this evening is a collaboration of many experts and many individuals that have had a lot of say and a lot of opinions as to how we can make this community something that will work for the site, given the historical nature of it. And then secondly, to try to create a community that's not just, as I'm often accused, that Brother Brigham Young would be very proud of, that it's not just a straight roads and all lot and block type stuff, but let's add some curvature to this community. Let's make this look something unique and something special for this particular site. It has its challenges, for lack of better words, and we've spent a lot of time and effort. I mean, I bet we're on probably concept 40 or 50 with what you're seeing this evening. Not only what we've shared with city staff, but also internally what we reviewed and what we've reviewed with the master developer. So a lot of time and effort, and really everybody's opinion has really shaped the community as you see it right now, and there's a lot of aspects to this that are very strategically there for a reason. So, but anyway, I just want to present to you here, obviously this evening, what it is that we're proposing. So we really strongly believe in a community that isn't just one housing type, that presents a lot of different product mixes, and one that provides the ability for people to not only establish their roots in Midvale City, but also to be able to grow and within that community. So I'll just start Bingham Junction Boulevard up towards the top of this page, which is actually north is to the left. So this is on the east side of, or the west side of Bingham Junction Boulevard. We really wanted to be strategic on where we placed specific units along there, rather than having backyards or having sides of buildings facing that. We wanted to really present that, the fronts of those buildings. And I know that it's really hard to see. I'll get through and I'll show you the elevations that we're proposing along Bingham Junction Boulevard. But there's a large 30-foot buffer between Bingham Junction Boulevard and the fronts of those buildings. And we are proposing, you'll see it later this evening, but we're going to be presenting a little bit wider trail along Bingham Junction Boulevard, just to kind of connect with the community as a whole. And those are, obviously you guys probably aren't familiar with Edge Homes, but we don't do any for rent product. Everything we do is for sale. All of the units here that you see this evening, with the exception to the condominiums, which are stacked flat units, will have 2-car garages, full 20-foot driveways that will fit 2 vehicles. And then we've got obviously guest parking spread throughout. Our condominiums will all have 1-car garages and a 20-foot driveway for each of those units. So there really is, and this will be probably one of the most well-parked subdivisions, I suppose, that's out there, in the sense that, you know, you can fit 4 vehicles just on your own property, per se. And then obviously we've got guest parking spread throughout. So just to give you an idea, there's, I think, a requirement of 1,400 parking stalls, and we're over 2,000 parking stalls throughout this community. So really shouldn't see any issues or hiccups as far as parking goes. I want to bring your attention to the right-hand side of your screen, which is where the clubhouse and pool amenity is. Originally, we thought, oh, you know, centrally located for an amenity like this would be awesome. But if you drive out there on site, and the reason why this is called Vista 270 is you really do have a 270-degree view all the way from the Wasatch Mountains to the Ochre Mountains out to the south. It's a really cool, unique site that just sits out on a peninsula. And yeah, it would be nice to have units out there with great views, but sometimes those are only viewed by or enjoyed by those individuals. So we wanted to put our clubhouse and our pool out here on the kind of the southern edge of the project, and really have an area that people can gather and enjoy the views that this project has to offer. So if there's any questions about maybe the strategic location of that, I just wanted to point that out. One other item, we have 30% landscaping across this whole site. When you drive out there today, obviously you'll see that the site's built up significantly from the historical use of the property. The black bold line that goes around the east, south, and west sides of the property is actually where the top of that fill is placed, and we've set our buildings 70 feet back from that. So there is going to be a large open space area that does add to the additional hillside that's there, and you know, strategically placed for a trail system to go throughout and around the whole site itself. But we do have over 30% landscaping on this site, which is pretty significant. So I talked about parking, and I've got a slide in here. Just from a vehicular standpoint, we are showing, you know, in orange here is where we have sidewalks around all of the roadways and trail system throughout. We've got the red, which hopefully none of you are colorblind. If so, this will be a little challenging, but obviously the red is our vehicular circulation. And then we do have a bike path that we are proposing along High Street, as well as Bingham Junction Boulevard. All of these will ultimately tie into the park as that gets brought on board. So, you know, that circulation will all be very cohesive with that park. You can feel free to stop me if you have any questions.
I'm sure we'll have questions, but we'll let you finish.
Yeah, sure.
You're on a roll here.
So I want to just show you an idea of, or what it is that Edge Homes built. So these are our stacked flat condominiums. Again, all for sale units. We don't hold on to any units. We don't rent them. We really do believe strongly in home ownership. And so what you're seeing here is just kind of a color palette that is consistent across 3 different product types. So the top 2 and the middle units are stacked flat condominiums. Bottom left is a 3-story townhome, and then The bottom right is we call them our back-to-backs, but it's our Finley plan. And essentially they're a 10-pack townhome, so you got 5 on each side. They share a back common wall. This is just a little more detail of what those color palettes look like. This is our color palette 2. Again, what we're trying to do is incorporate uniqueness in each of the buildings, but also kind of have a core color scheme that goes with all of them. And so we really can use a lot of these color schemes and materials and this, I guess, unique look across all product types that we offer. Just kind of hustle through some of those, but just some more renderings of what it is that we are intending and planning on building here. Really a good-looking product that's received well, and you know, a lot of people enjoy living in them. So here's a rendering of what we envision our clubhouse to look like. This is our clubhouse, and these are renderings of what we've created. I know looking at this, oftentimes people are wondering where this picture was taken, but with technology nowadays and AI and whatnot, we can take all of our renderings and we plug them in there, and but this is the vision of what we want this to look like. I don't want to just create pretty pictures that, you know, aren't going to be what you guys want to see at the end of the day, but here's what our vision is. Just some other amenity areas. So if you look in the bottom right, just on the legend, this just shows you an idea of what we would like to do in some of these areas that perhaps sometimes get overlooked and just become, I guess, mute landscaped areas. We want these to be in an amenity of some sort. This is just a little seating area with a little shade structure in it. Bring your own meat there for a barbecue. So, and then yeah, just what we do on some of our alleyways and some of our roadways as far as how we intend those to light up in the evenings. So the rest of these are what I would consider boring civil engineering plans, so I'm happy to go through those, but I think for all intents and purposes, hopefully I've given you the vision of what it is we want this community to look like. We're excited, and yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, and did bring my team with me if there's any questions. I know, just real quick, one item that will be brought up this evening later on is, you know, public and private roadways. It's kind of interesting. This site's, you know, 30% open space. We've got 25%-ish is covered by homes and units themselves, and we have, you know, 42 or 46% roadway. Kind of intriguing to me how much roadways take up. These are a mixture of public and private roadways. One of the items that you'll be discussing tonight is a private alleyway. So this particular road right here, if you can see my cursor, we have just driveways on the west side of this road. As you go on the other side, we'll eventually have front doors. Those is where people will come, you know, that's where my mom's coming to Sunday dinner. She needs a place to walk. So anyway, we are proposing a sidewalk on that one side, but don't really see a purpose for a sidewalk on this other side as the front doors face High Street in that particular location. Obviously this one a private roadway, but we do have sidewalk on both sides. As we jump to this street, we do have a sidewalk again where front doors are facing. On this side, this is kind of more of the alley side of these townhome or these condominiums where they're front doors, and there's a common breezeway, but it's intended to face towards Bingham Junction Boulevard. Other than that, all roads will have a sidewalk on both sides. It's just simply this little alley right here and this little alley right here where we won't necessarily have a sidewalk on both sides of the roadway. Again, we have a hard time sometimes putting, well, we put sidewalks on the driveway side when there's really no need for that because there's no front doors. So
Why is there not a sidewalk on the west side of that same?
right here, there is. I don't think it's highlighted, but yeah, there's a sidewalk park strip on High Street right here. Apologize, it's not showing up on there. I think it's because we've got again, it's hard to see, but there's purple bike lane shown there, but there should be highlighted orange. Oops. Just like on the other side of High Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, there you have it.
So one of the things you didn't show was like the phase map. One of your phases shows like a little blue stub down near where the park structure would be, and it just seems oddly placed that you wouldn't include it in phase 4.
Let me jump to that. That was part of my boring civil engineer plans. But
Oh,
I'll
see,
jump to it
we're
right here,
all
so.
about that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so like
which
it's
one?
interesting to put that blue stub and not roll it into into phase 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is informal feedback. You don't have to.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, we'll look at that. I'm not completely sure why we have it that way. It might be utility or detention driven, but
Yeah.
it's good feedback.
The other thing that I think is interesting here is, like, there's ample parking down by the park, but the ingress is a private road. I'm interested in, like, what or why the decision of not using a public roadway is in that location.
Yeah, you're talking just.
The north side?
This
Yeah.
area right here.
Yeah,
correct?
and
There.
then yes, correct,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we do plan on putting a public a public access easement over the top of this roadway. We don't obviously want to restrict the public from using those stalls. That's why we're putting a giant cluster of parking stalls there. And so we are intending for that to be a public thoroughfare. It's just,
Yeah.
we're calling it a private roadway because we don't have the park strip on this side, which is the alley side to those condo units, and then
Yeah.
we have the sidewalk, so.
Yeah. I guess one of my concerns here is the HOA being responsible for administering and keeping up that road
Yeah.
on it, and like for what is a public access way that likely will get more traffic than others.
Sure.
And so worried about how the people that are paying into the HOA are going to feel about improving a road that's used for public purposes.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I know I lived in Daybreak for a good while. I called it Daybroke when I moved because the HOA just kept escalating. But anyway, that was always a sticking point. And from the HOA standpoint, is there's a lot of public, I guess, amenities, if you want to call
Yeah.
a road an amenity that's
Yeah.
owned and maintained by a homeowners association. That's always a sticking point.
Yeah.
Although I will say, when my front driveway wasn't plowed, you bet I was on the phone giving a call. So I think
sure.
from a maintenance standpoint, if there is, a snow plow that doesn't hit that roadway, I can guarantee our residents that will live here eventually will be on the horn immediately.
Yeah.
So.
I'm more concerned about how the road erodes over time, right?
Sure.
10, 15 years, and how residents feel about, footing the bill to repair it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Back to the phased map.
Sure.
I guess I feel like I've got lots of things to say.
Oh, I have no.
Okay. No, she does have lots of notes. Within phase 1, you've labeled some of those private alley versus private street. Can we talk to the difference?
Yeah, this goes back to the sidewalk on both sides versus sidewalk on one side. So
On the one that you talked about, the sidewalk, the top, the most east side is
Yeah.
labeled as a private alley, but it did have sidewalks on both sides.
so let me see if I can zoom in on. I'll have to escape out of presentation mode here real quick. Perhaps this one might show it a little bit better. So we do have the sidewalk that's on the west side of there, and no sidewalk on the east side. I think that
Yeah.
other exhibit might have shown a
Incorrectly
sidewalk
then.
on that
Okay.
side. Yeah.
Okay.
But this plan right here is what we're intending to do. Yeah.
Good QA.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the difference between a private street and a private alley is simply if there's sidewalk on both sides versus, again, in this situation, we have a
Yeah.
front door on the one side and just
Yeah.
a driveway on the other.
Yeah, Midvale City Code, the way street is defined would encompass both alley and street.
Okay.
And so it's just an interesting thing to see there.
Yeah.
Don't we do it? Oh, go Shane.
The one thing that we changed that the amenities need to be developed in the first phase rather than 15 years down the road. And
Sure.
so just wanted to make sure that those amenities, we've had problems in the past where they build phase 10 first, but the amenities are in phase 1, and then they finally get to phase 1, but everybody's paying for amenities that they don't enjoy.
For 10 years.
For 10 years.
Yeah,
And
for 10
so
years, yeah.
we've changed our zoning so that amenities have to be developed at the beginning
Yeah,
for everybody's use at the beginning rather than at the end.
sure.
And so just want to make sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, so I guess food for thought on that. Obviously, we're trying to be strategic on where we place the clubhouse and pool area. We do want to get to that as quickly as possible. Sometimes in the past, we've, I guess, capped ourselves on building permits until those amenities are reached. We do want to build, I'm going to say this red phase here first, just because strategically from an engineering standpoint, I'll just say that we need to build this phase first, and then we do eventually want to get down and build this cyan phase as quickly as possible. So if we need to incorporate that into a development agreement, as far as capping us at 50% building permits or whatever that threshold might be before the clubhouse and pool, I think that's probably the main amenity that maybe you're referring to, that is of utmost importance to get done sooner than later. We're fine with that. We want it up sooner than later as well, so.
A couple of things I wrote down. You mentioned the parking, and in some with the 2-car garages, you would have parking for 4 vehicles.
Yeah.
I will say feedback from Midvale residents, that's not enough. Even though it's to code, even though we can't plan for a Thanksgiving dinner every single day, because I feel like that's what residents are looking for, that their whole family can park, and their neighbor's whole family can park. That's not realistic, but just kind of foreshadowing that. We know that is kind of, it fits within code and is generous with the 4, but that is still a contentious
Sure.
issue with Midvale residents.
We probably hear about that almost more than any other single topic, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we hear about it as well.
You see us all laughing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I bring it up because we say 4 and we go, yes, that's over code, but it's still not something, change is hard.
sure.
Let's see. I appreciate the thoughtful consideration of when a sidewalk is needed versus not. When it comes to that, I always think of Halloween and if you're able to find the front door. So I appreciate that. I have 2 more. So my only issue with the clubhouse being kind of off in a peninsula off to the side is if there would be any difficulty with people finding it, because it's kind of tucked in the back. But wayfinding and that sort of thing could certainly alleviate that. I like the idea that it's open for everyone and it's not just a few homes getting the best views.
Sure.
So I do appreciate that. And my last one is maybe reconsidering High Street if you want to keep your signs around, because that is the most stolen sign ever.
Oh,
Just putting it out there.
the name of it you're referring to, yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Or monetize it.
Yeah.
Right, just stack them up on each other.
I had a question about the street lighting. Could you go to that image that you had shown?
Sure. You talking our night, this one
Yeah,
here?
So is that street lighting going to be on all the time, or will the residents be able to turn that on or off?
Yeah, so the ones above our garage, we have them on a photocell. So yeah, at a certain time during the night or when dusk hits, they kick on themselves. We have that above all of our garages.
And then will that be the only street lighting in your
No.
community? Okay.
No, this is just showing what the homes themselves can produce as far as lighting goes. But yeah, we'll do additional street lighting
Okay.
throughout the community, yeah.
That was not the intent. The intent was to dark sky compliant,
Oh,
only light, not have street lights essentially.
oh, okay.
All street lighting will be provided from the surrounding building.
I got you, okay.
That was the intent, that was the intent of showing this picture, that all street lighting, there won't be street lights, but we'll meet the requirements of, you know, the photometric plan and light
Yeah.
pollution and light illumination, but it will all be met from the buildings, you won't have it.
Did you catch that for minutes, Elizabeth? Okay, thank you. Do you want his name?
Now we all.
Yes,
Oh.
can I get your name?
Yeah, Quentin Elder.
Thank you.
Thank you, that'll help there a lot.
I just have one thing. So when we're done with, so we're working on phase one, let's say, and we get done, and then we're going to move to the clubhouse area. Let's say we implement that. How in, bleep this out, hell are those people going to get to the amenities? They're not going to have roads in there
Let me go back
that
to
quick,
phase
right?
Oh,
See what I'm saying? So
Yeah, so-
we get phase one and it's great, and then everybody wants to go use the pool. How do they get there?
yeah, and I think kind of what he thought is like a development agreement on postponing the development of the amenities to coincide with phase 4. Did I paraphrase you correctly?
Is that
so
correct?
as an example, so yeah, obviously phase one being the red.
Right.
You know, as we build, you know, whether this is phase 2, it looks like to me like the purple seems like the logical phase 2, and phase 3 that would potentially bring on this loop going back around there. So there is that road that would come along
Perfect.
with all of those units, yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
But in a developer agreement, you could figure out percentages
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that.
Okay, that was all.
We have to be a little strategic on this. Again, obviously, if you drive out to the site today, there's a massive pile of dirt that's out there, and it's,
There is.
yeah, so we're surcharging the site. And there's a lot of engineering that has to go into the buildings themselves, and that material, we've got to move and let it sit on other parts of the site to surcharge it. And so, unfortunately, we can't just say, okay, here, tomorrow, we're going to move to this phase and start building on that, right?
Right,
We've got to be
right.
strategic on how we do it and how we phase the project and how, and we've got to let it sit for a certain amount of time, do a lot of monitoring that way. So we're planning on doing that, and we're geared up. We've had, I don't know, countless meetings internally to discuss that with our geotech. So we'll be very strategic on how we
Nice.
get to that sooner than later.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Mark.
I'm Mark. Hey. I'm Mark with the Gardner Company, and we are the kind of like the overall.
Right.
It's good to see some of you that I've known for years. Mark Murdoch, 201 South Main Street. Sorry, Elizabeth, apologize.
That's great.
One thing I just wanted to point out is just that we, you know, the park has always been kind of a topic, if you remember, this and that. We actually have set aside the money for the park. It is sitting in escrow, waiting to be deployed. So as he was sitting here talking, I was thinking, you know, as these phases come in, we're gonna try to get the park in as soon as
Nice.
possible. We have wanted to do it earlier. The only reason why we've held off is, like, if you can imagine, if we went to install this park, to your point, Councilman, or Commissioner Anderson, how in the whatever do you
That bad
get to
word,
it?
yeah.
You know what I mean? So say that this was the first phase, Brandon, we would come and try to install that next to it, and then however it shakes out, as soon as they get to the one close to here, you know, and then I will give Adam and Brandon and Quentin and Dave big kudos, because we didn't know how the parking was gonna work out, but Ed stepped up to put the parking there, and honestly, it's coming together really great. And they've, I know we always kind of say this, but this is a pretty tricky site, and they really have dug in and done a good job, so I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me talk.
Yeah.
I think just concerns I've had from other prior condos is, again, just the concern that I've heard is just that phase one is years out before they ever have amenities. The one thing, though, I think with this is that as they put the park in, there's gonna be some public amenities rather than the private amenities, and so that makes me feel warmer and fuzzier about some amenities rather
Yeah,
than
it's not an
waiting.
island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not just.
It can share with
yeah.
some other existing
But
infrastructure.
that's just feedback that I've gotten from prior projects, that those amenities took a long time to enjoy.
Some of them still ongoing.
And some of them, they're still waiting for those amenities. So,
And I'm sure as a homeowner, that's frustrating that you're paying into an association
pool
for an
fund.
amenity that's
yeah,
not
pool
there.
fund and,
Yeah,
yeah,
and no pool.
and no pool,
No
yeah,
pool inside, no hole.
yeah.
I still want
Thank you.
restaurants and places over there for everybody, eateries.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess that's one other thing. I think when this site was originally envisioned, it was envisioned as commercial. And so recognizing this is a step away from, I think, what some people that have been close to this project possibly thought it could be at some point. So food for thought there.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
This is great feedback. We genuinely appreciate it, so.
Now, will High Street be a public road?
Yes. it's
Yeah.
labeled
That's
as
the
that.
public
Yeah,
road.
yeah.
That's what I thought, but, okay.
it is high. I mean,
With walk signs.
Yeah, we'll put,
We're gonna
put,
bolt
I'm
Shane
just
him
saying.
down, so.
I don't know
Be
how
sure
I
to
know
put
this.
red lights on it.
I have no idea. I would, like, I took me on there.
We run in different
Yeah, there you
circles.
go. Air tags.
Where this isn't open to public hearing, we don't have a motion or anything to close this. So does anyone have anything else they would share?
No?
I appreciate the explanation on the sidewalks versus no sidewalks, that you're putting sidewalks on the doors rather than on the rear of the property where the driveways are, because that, no one's going to be walking homes that way. That helps. I
Especially on an alley
appreciate
load
that.
product, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
obviously, you don't want anybody coming, oh, my kids' friends always would come through our garage anyway, so I guess maybe,
Yeah.
You shouldn't have
Yeah.
given them the code.
I know. It's my own fault, right?
I do appreciate your fun layouts, though. I've done some inspections for a bank for
great.
Edge Homes, so I got to know them very well.
Oh, great.
They're fun floor plans.
Thank you.
I don't know if people define floor plans as fun, but
This group.
Yeah.
I appreciate the looks of your products that you presented. I know there's some developers that it's pretty much stucco box, and they're pretty ugly and pretty bland. And so I appreciate making your products pleasing to the eye rather than cheap.
Yeah. Well,
It
thank
reminds
you.
me of
Yeah.
Hurricane when I've been down and rented,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit of Hurricane neighborhood down there
Yeah.
with the lighting and so forth. It's kind of nice.
cool.
Okay, I
Appreciate
think that's
it.
all we
Thank
got
you
for you.
very
Thanks.
much.
Go home now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll be here for the next items, so, more as a listening ear. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with the conclusion of that discussion item, we're going to move back to public hearing items, Section 6 of the agenda. Item A, the Gardner Group requests amendment to Figures 1 and 2 in Chapter 17-7-10.12 of the Midvale Municipal Code to eliminate rights of way adjacent to POD 1. And Wendelin is presenting.
I don't think there's going to be pictures. Darn it.
So we've already talked about this at the previous meeting. So part of this is just going to be a review. This is Figure 1 in our code. It shows where the pods are, you know, the different, you know, you could say maybe subphases in the whole area. On the left side are the current project areas. The right side, what's proposed. And Pod I is the one, you know, directly south of the park. And the proposal is to omit that somewhat skinnier right-of-way between park and Pod I. So you can see that, you know, roughly where the arrow locations are. And then directly south of Pod I, that larger street. And so this is, you know, Figure 1. Figure 2 adds a little bit to it. Figure 2 shows where public streets are. Same thing again, left side, what we currently have in the code, right side, what's proposed. And here are the locations again. And the right-of-way on the southern end of Pod I is what's called a secondary street. A secondary street is defined by a 61-foot right-of-way, and the image there just shows 1/2, just so that it's not as cluttered. And it's really a good-sized public street. It has, a lane, 2 lanes, technically, 2 bike lanes, a park strip, and a 6-foot sidewalk. And so in the context of a, somewhat higher density development, this would get, used in several ways, cars, bikes, sidewalk maybe for walking, for playing, and so on. So with that in mind, and this isn't new since I presented this last time as well, so as from my perspective as staff, I've come down as saying that if I screen the proposal against our criteria, that to me it does not hit the threshold for us to recommend approval. And the main reason really is the aspect of connectivity. Connectivity does a lot to the urban fabric. If you look at different cities, when you have smaller blocks, you have more walking. Because everything is more permeable. People have an easier time to get from point A to point B. And therefore, walking as a mode of travel, is easier to accomplish, you could say. And that same concept sort of feeds through all of these criteria that we have. The last number 4, obviously there isn't a clerical error or a mistake of fact involved. And number 3 is, that one can serve different purposes, but in this case, what we have in the plan is simply what was the intent of the city council at the time this was approved. Of course, that can change. Mm-hmm. So that's my view of that in your behalf, I guess. And so I gave you 2 motions. A motion to deny would go along with the findings that I have in the staff report. A motion to approve it's very similar, of course. You just need to come up with a finding that supports taking, the road out. And, you can also sort of, I guess, engage, with the applicant a little bit about that narrower right-of-way that's shown, what the purpose of that could be, and does it really have to come out, as an example.
Now, on that little right-of-way, what
to the north
is that? Is it a road, or is it a path, or is it a?
That's what we'll ask.
Yeah, in a way, our underlying system doesn't inform us of that. You look, further north, let's say around Pod H and E. The line work there is maybe somewhat inconsistent, and if you look at this it seems if you read between the lines, the purpose here was to identify the public streets. So, the other items that are shown on there just simply aren't as emphasized and also not fleshed out. So, do you have any other questions for me?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, would someone representing the applicant like to speak?
Thank you. How do I go back to that?
Remember, as much as we know your name, it'll help for the minutes.
Sorry, I was just trying to.
That's okay.
Dave Dennison, Gardner Group, 201 South Main, Salt Lake City.
You might be our biggest fan. You come more than anyone.
I do come a lot. Commissioners, it's all very good to see you tonight. Thank you last time for tabling this. I want to thank the staff. We've spent a lot of time on this as well. And to give you a little, it's kind of interesting as I listen to this, the challenges of staff, developer, the commission, city council. It's a challenge. You've got 120 acres, and you're creating a master development plan, and you're putting in roads when you really don't know exactly how it's gonna work. And so you're kind of putting in roads, and like, for example, these drawings are not to scale. The High Street right now, if we scaled that, would be much wider than it really is in real life. And maybe it does need a name change. I don't know. But that other little road, and I tried to explain this last time, it's not a road per se, it's just part of the park trail system. So it's not really necessarily going away. We just thought showing it that way would just simplify it. It's not labeled as a primary, tertiary, secondary road. It's just part of the park. And the park is going to have a lot of, walking areas, and it's going to all tie into how this works. And when we brought in Edge Homes, that's when we had to start laying out. And like Brandon was saying, they've iterated this 40, 50, 60 times to try to get it. And then you can imagine the difficulty. When Mark was designing this initially, we put in some streets and put in some different things. But now we're really getting down to the nuts and bolts. And we're trying to say, okay, how do we make this work? And then we've got all these rules in our development agreement. Then over here, we've got all these city codes, and we're trying to get them all to fit. I was even thinking about the park and the challenges. When we first met, Quinn and Steve Maddox went in, and we met with Matt Dahl and the mayor and a few members of staff. And we actually had an iteration where the clubhouse was much further north. Mm-hmm. And the comments from staff was, why don't you capitalize on those views? Why don't you really use them? And we thought, yeah, that's a great idea. And then now we get into this meeting, and suddenly it causes challenges, because if you look at the mass amounts of earthwork that has to be done, mm-hmm. and the earthwork is balanced out with the park. We don't just have a 15-acre park because we want to spend $13.3 million and give the park to the city. I mean, it's a great amenity to the city, but it's also helping to balance that out. And so you can't just go and build 15-acre park from day one. It's difficult to get to. You don't have the parking. There's all these challenges. And so you start figuring out, okay, it actually makes sense to start building on this north side. So it creates other challenges. So as we've been working through this, we've got all these regulations on both sides, and we're trying to balance it. We've really spent a lot of time. Last time we were talking about the challenges of the different text amendments. Mm-hmm. Some of them seemed okay, some of them didn't. Sure. So what I did is I paid my fee. I've now separated all three of them. So now we can look at them individually and vote on them. And this one is primarily just getting rid of that one road, because way back when, we didn't have the foresight to know exactly where the roads go. But when you look at the large-scale master plan the Edge has developed, most of us are thrilled and delighted that it's turned out so well. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Mark and I, years ago, we had how many? 2,200 apartments on here. We would take it into the city staff. It wasn't super exciting. People weren't really excited about it. But now we've got a for-sale product, and I think people are really starting to get excited. And you can see the challenges. We're trying to balance and make everything happy. So that's kind of a little background for some of you, and some of you it's new, and I apologize for being a little redundant. So if you have any other questions.
So, I mean, one of the complexities for this commission is we have to find at least one finding that matches the criteria. Like, is there a criteria from those four that you can, like, put forward to help support why we would approve it? So I think if you click the clicker forward.
That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
I mean, staff is awesome, but I have a different opinion on some of these things because I look at that road and it's problematic. It's too close to the light at Ivy, and I mean, it really is. I mean, you talk to traffic engineers and they're always stressed about putting too many intersections too close. We have to have the one down below, and the interesting thing is across the street on the other side, we spent how much time changing Saguini. All it was doing was we were moving it and went through these whole text amendments just to change it. And again, it goes back to we did the best we could. Once we start laying things out and you put buildings there, and then you have setbacks and you have all this stuff, it starts to get challenging. But, you know, when I look through those, I think we've done a really good job.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I would say probably the most clear one that you could go with, in our opinion, would be that it does promote the general plan. So if you want to go back in time, and I know a lot of you might remember this, but in 2017, we came through, we initially had, if you guys remember, all warehouses, we added residential, we came through with the pod map. You can blame me. I just didn't have the foresight. I will totally fall on the sword and say you can blame me. I just probably should have looked at pod I and J and said, you know, that's a little tight. You look at F and G, there's a little bit more, whatever. That doesn't mean one day we won't come and say, oh my gosh, office buildings are back and we're gonna build a big thing and we need you to remove that. Like, it might happen. I'm just telling you, this is how development goes. But I would say for us, I think it actually promotes a better cohesiveness in the general, in the development agreement and the plan. So this is one of three tonight.
I mean, transparent feedback here. I would love to, if that we can find a finding that, like, I think I can stand behind.
Let's go back to the findings.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is, like, I wonder if you guys want to workshop this and come with something that.
For sure. Are we on tonight, or was this just work session? I'm just
This is like, yeah, but we can table this for up to 30 days, and then you guys can, like, force it forward. It goes with a recommendation for denial to the city council, if you do that. But you definitely can bring this back.
Yeah.
Does anyone,
go for it.
Anyone have other? Okay.
No, I think you're spot on with that.
I'm gonna put my Edge Home, or my engineer hat on, not my Edge Homes hat on. I'll take that off and put my engineer hat on.
Well, and I'm just wondering if you want to open the public hearing maybe at this point or something.
Oh, there is that.
I don't know.
Why don't we do that?
I don't know if you want, however.
Dave, we're going to open this up to public hearing, I think. Okay.
If I may?
Yeah. State your name again.
Brandon Watson, as a general public, 13702 South, 200 West, Draper, Utah. So, just putting my engineer hat on, I understand the idea of more roadways means more connectivity, more walkability. I totally understand that. But from a health, safety, welfare standpoint, the more intersections you have on such a busy road like Bingham Junction Boulevard, the less safe that's going to be. I don't remember who brought it up, but, you know, as a traffic engineer, the more intersections you have, the more congestion you have, the more conflicts you have with pedestrians and vehicles. In my 3-minute public input, I would just simply say that would be something I would consider as the health, safety, and welfare of those driving along Bingham Junction Boulevard and the amount of intersections coming onto it. So.
Thank you. No, hey, it's public, come on up. Yeah, I mean, you're public as well, so,
Sorta.
sort of.
Yeah.
Depends on the hat he's wearing.
Seeing there's no other public comment, and then pregnant pause from the last meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I move that we close the public hearing portion.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I would feel more comfortable if we had more details of what is changing. I kind of feel like we're drawing on a napkin still, and I'm not comfortable with a zone change with that kind of information. That's what I have. I think I need more detail of tertiary, secondary, primary, whether it's just a walking path. Just more detail of how.
Well, so, I mean, the code is currently envisioned in a way where it's a secondary road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can put do you want the cross sections?
No, I understand the cross sections and identifying it. It just, it seems like it's we changed our mind and we're with a new developer. I understand that. And so plans change. I think I just need more. Clarity, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It still seems kind of up in the air and it could change again, I guess is my sense. And to Vendelin's point, I don't see it meeting any of these 4 criteria as it's been presented.
I mean, he brings up the valid point, health and safety, we don't want.
Sure.
But we need to be clear about.
That's my concern, is just that Bingham Junction is such a busy street, and that brings another intersection into that busy road next to a street light. You know, so in my mind, getting rid of it could justify promoting the health and safety of the area. My other thing is that, you know, you look at, is it pod G? You know, you eliminate that road, pod I and J is about as big as pod G. And so what makes the difference that pod G doesn't need a street through the center of it, but pod I and J need a street through the center of it?
Are you suggesting
for
it was a clerical error?
And maybe that we could use that as a clerical error, you know. I mean, that's kind of, you know, I looking at the pods, it's kind of like, why is why doesn't pod G have a road in the center of it? And we don't have an issue with that, but we have an issue with the connectivity with I and J. But we're bringing out another road onto that Bingham Junction, which is going to be a busier street, and you've got an intersection up at the top and up at the bottom, and then you've got this random road that's going to be trying to cross all those ways. It just seems like it would be better to direct the traffic to the intersections rather than to create a free-willy intersection there.
If the road were to remain the same, that intersection there that we're concerned creates a public safety issue, what's the difference between the northern road over pod G? It's essentially the same, unless there's something different being proposed on that intersection.
I don't understand.
I catch what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I understand what you're saying.
Between F and G.
You're just saying, like, if we can, like,
If
what's
that's
the?
okay, why isn't the other one?
Yeah,
for
and like
public
I was
safety?
saying, and I don't want to forecast that we're going to come and change something again, but like, it is hard, like, we do our best to create these pods, and for the most part, these pods have more or less stayed the same. You know, this is obviously changing, because in reality, we didn't realize that we would have one group come in like edge to really take these pods. And so it's a great thing though, because then we get a better master plan. You get the curvilinear streets, you get the design, blah, blah, blah. You guys get it. And so our hope is that this is all office buildings up here, right there, and then this is apartments. But we may be coming to you one day and say, hey, we got to slide that down because we don't have enough distance, or, I mean, Commissioner Snow, it's a good point. Like, we just aren't there yet. And this is
The
always
traffic engineer will want to line those roads up, is my guess.
right there.
That's what
he's
they're,
saying.
yeah, that's what they're going to want to do, almost
Like we did,
guaranteed.
like we did right there.
Yeah, and I think it makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just for the minutes, I'm Commissioner Brocky.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I
They got the
apologize.
wrong nameplate in front of you.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah, be Dustin for a day.
Dustin's gone.
I thought that. I know Dustin.
I thought, wait a minute,
I thought, wait
Dustin
a
doesn't
minute,
look
yeah,
like
so
that.
apologize.
Yeah, when you said it, I was like, oops. That's on us.
But we do our best at guessing. Clearly, we don't always get it right. But part of the reason too, and I'll stop with this, is just that when we met with Edge, this road actually was a big deal in our contract. And they did want to remove it because it allowed them to design it more freely. And so that's why we're in here. If you want to say why, I think safety's probably the best reason to land on. If you need us to come back and write that in a more
That'd feel nice.
elegant way, we can do that. But
We'll make it easier to,
We'll do as you wish.
well, yeah.
Or try. We'll try to
say
do
that
as you
to Robin.
wish. Yeah.
I think staff wanted to add something.
Yeah, I think Adam had his hand up.
I just wanted to make a comment that I can see what you're saying and where all of you are going with this, but if you disagree with the staff's recommendation,
sure.
if you feel that one of the findings should be flipped and reversed, you can do so.
Absolutely.
And make
good.
that recommendation.
Okay.
So just so you know, if
Yeah.
you feel that maybe this enhances safety or whatever finding you want, I mean, you can still move that forward.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want you to feel like you were
Trapped?
confined.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, no, I think we are searching for one of those that
Understood.
we could change.
We're with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
We're searching and finding.
making findings.
Let me maybe say something. So in response to some of the earlier comments, Dave was right. There's sort of a chronological, a timeline difficulty here
Yeah.
with, the question on, the road at, north of Port G, or should Port G have a road?
Yeah.
Like this, it's hard to say because you don't know what's going to be there, what are the densities, what's the vehicular demand, what traffic counts and so on, and all of that in a perfect world feeds into that and hopefully gives us one objectively best outcome, right? But unfortunately, we don't have that luxury.
If I was on the other side of this, I would be furious at our decision. I'm just going to say it, but as a commissioner, I just need more reason.
So one other thing, maybe if Dave, could you flip this back to the criteria?
The 4 X's, I think it's forward.
Yeah.
This is going backwards.
Yeah, go the other direction. That's
Good arrows.
5 more.
We're almost there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you.
Thanks.
So the general plan, has objectives, and sometimes, they're general. That's why it has that name, I guess. And one can, interpret them in different ways. I mean, if you feel like this road, doesn't have that much of a purpose, let's say, then, you could maybe use number 2, the purposes outlined in Utah code. So the city code has this in it as basically as a screen, so that when we make these types of decisions, that we are for certain that they align with the state law. And the state law has, I'll read you the purposes, or at least some of them. There's a pretty long list.
Provide for the health, safety, and welfare. Promote the prosperity. Improve morals, peace, good order, comfort, convenience, aesthetics. Protect the tax base, secure economy and governmental expenditures, and so on and so on. So, I mean, this is just my idea. So you take it or leave it. You could say if you feel like this road really doesn't have a purpose, then, you know, why do we put it in place? Why do we spend resources on maintaining it? So to me, that would be E, for example, secure economy and governmental expenditures. Or it could also be a part of protect the tax base. You know, if we look at our revenues and expenditures, if there's an unnecessary expenditure, then why should we have it?
Could it also be that, like, to the point made by the civil engineer, and I apologize, I'm not as familiar with you as I am with Dave, that like having two intersections at that close of proximity really probably does pose some type of a health risk.
That's
to
what I feel.
pedestrians. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the more intersections you have that close together, especially when you have those two intersections which, you know, could have lights at them. I don't know if they have lights now, but could, you know, you could put lights there, it would help. I just think it would be safer. And it just seems, and again, for the city to have to maintain that little road, it just seems like a waste of resources and money for the city. And I think it's a safer option to remove it. I think number two, it does promote the health and welfare and orderly growth aspects, is my opinion.
Candace?
I think it would have been great if it came in that way. I think we've done a lot of work to make this happen.
I think so.
Yeah, because if it's promoting safety, I mean, I'm all behind that.
And say it.
Yeah, I don't want to just make it up to make it fit in the box. That's kind of where my conflict is happening, is we're making it work for the developer, which is good. We want developed land, but also we can't do that work for them.
Yeah.
So if we do, let's say we do a denial, and then we say, come back and give us something that we can go with.
Yeah.
Play us the minutes back, but then that seems
I
a little bit petty. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I know.
Because we've arrived at this now, why
Right.
would we want to come back?
Do we know what would be proposed at those intersections, those Ts that?
I think the answer is no at this point, and unfortunately, we don't have the city engineer here. You know, there are all sorts of ways how one can deal with intersections. Or, I mean, this particular street, well, maybe it could be a right in, right out. There could be a median. You know, I don't know. I mean, that's again sort of a question on you know, what's the actual demand.
Yeah.
I mean, if one wanted a sort of a scientific answer to this, you would probably want to get a traffic engineer involved.
Because that's the other consideration, is if they're all lit intersections, that could affect the speed on Bingham Junction, which we already know is out of control. So more intersections may make that more dangerous or less dangerous depending on how that's addressed. So, I mean, that is a great point, Commissioner, about what exactly are we talking about? It doesn't seem quite planned out yet.
I'd like to turn it to legal. I believe this is a legislative decision. I just want to make sure we're pursuing this appropriately.
Yeah, that's correct. This is a legislative decision. You do have a lot more discretion as what you can and can't consider with this item. You are just making a recommendation for City Council on what you think that they should do. I would say, as Wendell already pointed out, there are several things that you can consider under number 2 for this state code that things that you can consider, whether you agree that that helps it or doesn't. It's completely up to you and your discretion.
Thank you.
Did that help you?
I mean, I'm pretty helped right now, so. Is there any more discussion to be had on this?
No, we beat it to death.
Okay. Does anyone
I
want to
think
make a
I've spoke
motion
my
in
piece.
one of three ways?
No,
I'm not proposing.
Shane's going to propose.
Would you advance it to the proposal, the recommendations? Thank you.
I'm waiting to see.
So I guess the question is do we want to recommend a denial or an approval?
I think make a motion and see if you
Yeah,
get a
what do you
second, and then
want?
we'll vote.
Yeah,
Put it out there.
I mean, I'm going to be transparent. I think I could find in favor of the Utah Code section as the finding.
And that's how I felt. I'll make an approval, and hopefully I can,
Yeah.
a recommendation, and hopefully come up with the finding wording right. I move that we recommend approval of the amendments to figures 1 and 2 in Chapter 17-7-10.12 of the Midvale Municipal Code to eliminate the rights-of-way adjacent to Pod I as shown in the attached, based on the following findings: that it does promote the safety and welfare of that area.
According to Utah
According
Code
to Utah
annotated
Code.
as referenced in the
findings.
Item 2 of the findings.
Item 2 in the findings. I will second that. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Chair Edwards,
Yes.
Vice Chair Lidke,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Erickson,
Yes.
Commissioner Brocky.
No.
The motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Gardner Group requests amendments to subsection 17-7-10.12.10, subpart D, subpart 3 of the Midvale Municipal Code to decrease building separation requirements for 4-story buildings from 10 to 20 feet. Wendolyn is presenting.
From 20 to 10 feet.
From 20 to 10?
From 20 to 10. Yeah,
Okay.
Did I say it backwards?
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
that.
Sorry.
Your
From 20
dyslexia
to
kicked
10.
in.
That's all right.
There was a word missing in there, so invent the word.
I don't have anything in front of me.
QA is strong tonight.
Hey, this proposal we've obviously talked about before as well. It's pretty simple. In this chart, the current code says if you have a 4-story structure, you need to separate the buildings by 20 feet. The proposal is to cut that in half to 10 feet. And the one, I guess technically speaking, difference we have in the application is that the applicant provided this image. And, there are no dimensions. I suppose it's showing the 10-foot separation and, the applicant. Dave, is it supposed to show 10 feet or 20? 10?
So this was to show, we're asking that a 3 stories approved at 10. We would like it to be a 4-story also, that the delineation wasn't just the 4 and 5, that we moved that one more story. Do you need me to announce my name? Does that help?
Yes, it would be helpful. Thank you.
Quentin Elder with Edge Homes, 13702 South, Draper, Utah, 200 West. All right.
Thank you.
Why don't we let Wendolyn finish? Are you finished?
Let me just do a couple more things. but you'll get here. So this was added just for some visualization of what it might look like. obviously a 4-story structure is taller than what's shown. And, is there a problem with, let's say, fire code, building code? No. That can all be mitigated. I checked with our building official beforehand. So that's not a problem. So it's purely a decision on, is this something that, you think is a good idea for, general operations, I guess, of a development like this, for usability, aesthetics, and so on. And our criteria, again, I landed, on the side of that I don't believe this furthers our code and, a quality development in this case. And with that, I have that motion.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Would the applicant like to add comments?
Thank you. I'm Dave Dennison, 201 South Main, Salt Lake City. Good to see you all again.
This kind of goes back to what I had before said, which was in
Juan,
the
would you
previous
change the input to what he plugged in? No, it's not you, Dave. It's Juan's going to change the input.
he has to switch to the HDMI. Okay.
Thank you.
That's the difference right there.
Yeah.
That's a 4-story, and kind of like what we talked
Much
about.
better picture.
Pardon?
Much better picture.
Yeah, that's the 4-story. That's the 3-story, and all we're doing is asking. We can already do a 10-foot up to 3-story, and we're just asking for the 4-story. And again, the design that Edge has put forth for the 640 units doesn't actually have one. But what we're doing is we're trying to meet all these rules and regulations and plan for the future. And we thought, well, there's really not a whole lot of difference. In fact, both of these buildings are sprinklered in this case, a 3 and a 4-story. So there's literally visually there's very little difference. And we still, on a 5-story, would do 20 feet. You can do 5-story, you just have to have it 20 feet apart. And so we're just trying to, development is hard, and we're trying to mitigate some of the issues we might have in 4 years and not have to come back here again. As much as I would like to, it'd be nice to kind of have some options as we roll forward. So that's kind of how we got to this point on this particular item.
Same question. Which of the 4 criteria do you think that this matches?
All of them? I think really it's kind of like what I said. It's not changing anything for safety. They're both sprinklered. It's not really changing a whole lot aesthetically, and visually. You still have your views. If you look at those, we've tried to make them as realistic as possible with the mountains. You really can't see a whole lot of difference. And again, we've got all these different things. We're trying to, fit all these rules into the box and make it work. And we can see that 4 or 5 years down the road, we might want to have an option. And we just don't feel like the 4-story versus the 3-story is a whole lot. We're not changing the 5-story. We would still make that a 20-foot. So
currently in the master plan that you guys have that you've presented, Is that with the 20-foot widths in place, or would that be with the 10-foot widths in place? I'm just asking if like sidewalks will change, parking might go away, or we might gain some parking with these differences?
Yeah, well, a lot of those, I believe, are 10 feet, aren't they?
So I can make comments. Can you go to the,
Which one do you want? You
just the
want?
overall map here?
This
Say your
one?
name.
If
say
you
me-
look
say your
at
name. Say
the
your name.
condo building, Quentin Elder.
Thank you. That's enough.
Again, you got that, okay. So the buildings really, when we did this layout, it's the ones around the perimeter that are facing kind of southeast, south, and southwest. Those buildings right now, as currently laid out, have 10 feet of separation. Every other building has 20 or more. So it was, hey, in the future, if Edge has an opportunity, say this project is doing really well, and we want to add additional units to have more residents to the city, these units potentially could increase to a 4-story. We don't plan for that now. It was just, hey, in the future, versus coming back here, we're already doing it tonight. We thought, hey, let's add this in here if it's an opportunity. Currently, we don't have a plan for it, and we can make any one of those other buildings the 4-story, but as you can understand, in these areas around the exterior, that's where I think you have a higher potential to sell the homes, better views. So that's where we would prefer to add that. So we saw in the code, this was something that wasn't in there.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we're just changing the text amendment for this Jordan Bluffs area is all we're asking for. And as Edge did a work session tonight for the large-scale master plan, just if you approve it, you're not approving them to do it in the future regardless. They still would have to come and change their large scale and work with staff. It's not like a carte blanche to just do whatever. There's still a lot of checks and balances in place.
Okay. Anyone questions for the applicant?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'd like to open this up to public hearing or public comment.
Seeing there is no public comment, I move that we close the public comment portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Legal, legislative? Thank you.
It would be
Okay.
the same as the last one.
Thank you.
I don't understand the point of it.
Yeah, I'm not
I mean,
inclined
I really
either.
don't.
I mean, you
Yeah,
can put higher density,
with,
you know.
no
Does it
end
change it
game,
for everything?
no
Does it
end
just
game, but
change it for
also
that?
doesn't support any of the 4 areas.
My concern is that for the whole area, changing that, what about the places, the 4 stories that are 20 feet apart, and now all of a sudden we're kind of changing the dynamics of the whole thing, and so I just like the idea of a little bit more space, and is not feeling so sardiny as we already start cramming more in. I don't see the need, I don't like the idea of changing it.
Yeah, I can't justify which of the 4 criteria I would list as a finding.
I would argue that this makes it less safe, just experientially between those buildings. I would not walk between those buildings during the day, even as it is in the code right now. It's just not a good place to be. And experientially, when you go higher, it amplifies that. So I don't see a reason for this. I'm all for density and creating more housing in Midvale, but I think that this is just a step too far for me.
Got anything?
I kind of agree with what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
I appreciate the transparency and the explanation.
Absolutely.
Anyone want to make that into a motion?
If you pulled that up on the screen, we could.
Juan's got us. Juan's going to do it. Can you change us back to your input?
What am I doing?
Por favor.
You're at the meeting, running a computer.
That's it, right there.
There we
Thanks,
go. I move that we recommend denial of the amendments to subsection 17-7-10.12.10 D3 of the Midvale Municipal Code to decrease building separation requirements for four-story buildings from 20 to 10 feet based on the finding noted in the staff report.
Second?
Roll call vote, please.
Yes. Chair Edwards.
Yes.
Vice Chair Lidke.
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Erickson.
Yes.
Commissioner Brocky.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move to the last public hearing item on the agenda. Gardner Group requests amendments to section 17-7-10.12.5 of the Midvale Municipal Code to add private lane standards. Wendolyn is presenting.
Interesting.
So this amendment in this form is new. So last time, we had a different amendment before you, and as we already heard, they were all wrapped up with each other, so it made it hard to split them apart. And so the proposal now is not to necessarily modify private streets, but to come up with a new category for private lanes. And as a reminder, I had this up last time as well. We just made changes to the private street standard in Title 16 that sort of locked in that we would like to see sidewalks on both sides. So just as background where we as the city where we've come from. Now the language here is, it's pretty simple. The applicant proposes a new category, a private lane that is 20 feet wide. It can be used for vehicular access to driveways and/or garages. Then it also says additional right-of-way width is required if private lanes will have on-street parking or bike lanes. So there are several things here in the mechanics of this that don't quite jive with our code, unfortunately. If you look, that language, tracks very closely what our private road improvements section in that same ordinance is. Now, here are some of the difficulties that just come up with the method of implementation here. And that is that we have definitions in our code. They're in a separate section. And one of the definitions is for streets. And the street definition says that a street equals public right-of-way, highway, avenue, parkway, road, walk, alley, viaduct, and so on. And it also includes lane, which means we sort of have a paradox here. On the one hand, we say we have a different category that's called private lane, but on the other hand, the code says, but we don't have a different category because a street equals a lane. So it's just, unfortunately, the mechanics of the whole setup. And there are other problems. One problem is, from what I remember last time we dealt with this, the feedback was that this should be, if at all, targeted towards the case here, the two streets. Depending on how one reads this, one could come to the conclusion that this lane services, it says, driveways, and garages. Well, virtually all the development has driveways and garages. I think the intent was to say that, you know, if you have a front door on the other side, then maybe one can dispense with the sidewalk in the rear. But the mechanics of it aren't quite watertight, I believe. So, I think that's one angle on how to judge this.
One of the things that I was kind of reading on there, you know, there's no sidewalks, but like if your front door and the garage and driveway is in the front, then you don't need a sidewalk there. And we would want sidewalks along there.
Yeah.
And so, but if it's just an alleyway where it's just garages, no entrances to the homes and stuff, then that, yeah, it kind of makes sense to me to eliminate some sidewalks. But
Yeah.
The wording seems to make it a little ambiguous and a little bit,
It's a paradox.
yeah, a little bit complicated for the future.
Yeah, so, and that's, I think from that perspective, I can't say on any of these criteria that it really meets them. It adds confusion to our code. I think the one perspective though would be philosophically, are we okay with this or not? And if we are okay with it, then, you know, the applicant, maybe the city, you know, would have to look deeper and see how can that be implemented and targeted. But the way it is, I can't, you know, with a good conscience say it fulfills that purpose. And so, and for that reason, you know, all the criteria really don't check out.
Does this also narrow the street? I think it was a 30, so it's to 20 feet, right? That's the minimum width.
Yeah, and so 20 feet, that tracks with our standards. If I go so if I go to this, our current private road standards, it says it must accommodate the pavement width required by fire code and curb gutter and so on. Fire code and curb gutter, that boils down to a minimum of 20 feet. So that does, you know, that's all right, that aspect of it. So
other questions for staff?
Not at this time.
Actually, I will leave it on the code language then. That might make it easier.
Sounds great. Maybe bring the clicker with you.
Pardon me?
Bring the clicker so you can.
Oh, okay, yeah, I will do that.
That's okay.
He's commandeered.
He who
Right.
has the remote is so powerful.
Would the applicant like to speak to this agenda item?
Yes, Dave Dennison, 201 South Main, Salt Lake City. I'm just going to say right off the bat that the Utah State Code Section 109A102, this helps to the public welfare and provide for the health, safety, and the community comfort. Because it really is a safety issue when you have kids playing and you've got all these driveways and they see a sidewalk on the other side, they will take that sidewalk. And what we've done is, and again, this kind of comes back to how difficult it is to lay this out. Edge has done such a great job. There's 38 acres that they've laid that site out. I don't know why it's
Juan,
not.
can we change to his PC input again? Thank you.
Thanks. And again, if I may,
it's only 2 of these small little lanes, alleys, whatever we want to call them. And we actually worked with staff to try to figure this out. We worked with Wendeline and Adam to try to figure this out. And we said, it is going to be safer and aesthetically pleasing, and it conforms with that state code. And the other thing that we did is, as we discussed it, they talked about how Midvale City has plans to widen this walking path along Bingham Junction. And we thought, well, let's get in front of this, and we measured it, and the exact amount of footage that we're taking out, we decided we'd put it right back in and make this 10 feet wide all along that borders, so that as Midvale works its way through, it will conform and have a wider path. So it's kind of a horse trade, if you will, of we're still putting in the same amount of square footage, linear footage, however you want to look at it, but it's allowing us good design, good development, and again, conforming with Utah Code Section 10-9A-102, the public welfare, and we're providing for the health, safety, and community comfort. And we believe that is a huge benefit on both the comfort for future pedestrians to have that 10-foot walkway, and for us, for the neighborhood kids to stay off of those driveways and get onto the sidewalk. Thank you.
Anyone have questions for the applicant? Thank you. Okay, we'll open this up to public hearing.
Seeing there's no public hearing, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm not averse to removing sidewalks, but I don't think the language presented does it in a way that I
Right.
would reasonably vote for it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's the language.
I don't like the language. I think the intent, I think, meets the safety and stuff, because if you have all these driveways going in and you've got sidewalks going up there and the little kids and people
Yeah.
walking
Right,
by
right,
and
right.
you're trying to pull in and
Yeah.
back out,
Yeah.
and that just seems,
It's cumbersome for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like it makes sense to eliminate those sidewalks so that people aren't walking
Yeah.
past everybody's driveway
Yeah.
and garage, but I think it needs more clarification on, like I said, if you have someone's front door and
Correct, some
garage and
offices.
driveway,
Yeah.
then you'd want a
Yeah.
sidewalk, but if it's the back of it, then this would fit, but I think it needs
Yeah.
clarification.
Yeah, I also think it's paradoxical to the way the city has defined street as well, and that's going to require clarification. And so,
I'm not as worried about the semantics of the word definitions.
Okay.
That can be fixed. That can be easily
Yeah.
defined. It's just more of thinking about it holistically and how it fits in the code, rather than being so specific to a condition, a
Yeah.
proposed condition.
yeah,
I think it just needs to be a bit more holistic and thought out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like to see it where it clearly delineates that where the building doesn't have ingress that's not through the garage, that a sidewalk may not be required.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not opposed to the intent.
I'm not either,
Agreed.
Right.
Agreed.
but it's got to be, the language has to work.
Right.
Okay.
I have a question. Just so that, I guess as staff, so that we know what, along which lines you are thinking. So in the concept, we have the potential lane that's closest to Bingham Junction Boulevard. And that building type, can you describe what that is like? I mean, doesn't that have an entrance door
Yeah, please.
and driveways facing the lane?
Are you referring to the units that front Bingham Junction Boulevard.
Yeah, so that, the plan calls them condos.
Yeah, yeah, so those condos, so yes, they're 10-plex condominiums. There's a breezeway down the middle of it, so you do have the ability to walk, from Bingham Junction Boulevard
Yeah.
through the building essentially. And then, yeah, driveways on the backside of that, so.
And
From-
building ingress is on the Bingham Junction side?
So from an ADA, again, putting my engineer hat back on here, you've got to have 2 points of ingress and egress to a building. So that's why the breezeway goes all the way through on this class of a building. And so from an ADA standpoint, yes, you will be able to get out to Bingham Junction Boulevard by walking out through that breezeway. And then you'll also be able to get out from an ingress egress standpoint on the driveway side of it as well.
Through the garage or?
Through the breezeway,
Okay.
yeah.
So so the facing the lane, is there no door at all?
No
Then-
door, nope.
Okay, no door.
Yeah,
okay.
fire won't allow you to enclose the breezeway portion of that from a safety standpoint.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Do you want to just re-highlight what you were just
Oh, yeah.
saying, just since it's up?
Can you see my cursor there?
Yep.
So yeah, so this sidewalk, if you were living in this unit, you would come down the stairs that are in a common open breezeway, and you could turn and go out to Bingham Junction Boulevard, or you could turn and come out this way to be able to get to your garage.
Okay.
So, yeah. The only unit that has direct access into their unit themselves is the middle garage. That's the only one, because they're,
But it's into the garage,
but
not,
it's
not.
into the garage, yeah.
Okay.
It's a cool plan. I've been,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially it's a 12-plex unit that we've eliminated 2 units out of that and turned that into one-car garages.
Okay.
So from a livability standpoint, they live really good.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, and I don't think I have an issue with that, with the breezeway requiring a sidewalk there. It's still just the driveways, and I still think, it's not necessarily a walkway there along those, even though it, where the other street, the entrance faces one street, and then it's just the garage there, but the breezeways doesn't concern me too much that we would want to require, driveways there. I think it fits.
Yeah.
The
Again, where the
intent of-
principal building
Right.
ingress is not on that side, I could live
Yeah.
without a sidewalk
Right.
and justify it through any number of findings. But I don't think that the proposed amendment does that.
Right.
So the wording,
Correct. I think the wording needs
Is
to be
there a
more
reason why you
clear.
worded it this way? Is there like, maybe something we're not?
is there a secret code we don't know about?
No. You think we could come up with a secret code? Look, we're okay with what you're saying, just, and
I
as you
think
like.
so- I think so,
full-
too.
So if you want to propose it, I don't want to put words in your mouth, it's really going to you, but I like exactly what you're saying, Commissioner.
Yeah, I think it
and-
clarifies and
And if you want to
prevents.
phrase it that way and go with that, we're all thumbs up.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think a text amendment, I would like to see what it actually says before I would vote to approve it. And so what I would do is I would table this and allow you guys to continue to work with staff in a way that your proposal says something that is functional based on what we're looking for. Is that fair? And can I do that? Okay.
Yeah, I think that.
That's okay. So,
I was ready to say yes.
I mean, if you're favorable, okay, does someone want to make a motion?
I can't know what it is.
Oh, we're tabling it?
You have the clicker.
Yeah, I have the clicker. This is a lot more
Sheesh.
convenient now. Let's see.
So we table or deny?
Table.
I make a motion that we table this motion for a later date.
I second it. Does that sound right? Did that sound right?
I mean, you should probably read the whole thing.
Yeah.
I recommend
Yeah,
that
you
we
should read
table-
the-
I
that we table the
recommend that
amendments.
we
Thanks.
table
The amendments.
the amendments of section 17-7-10.12.5 of the Midvale Municipal Code to add private lane standards based on our discussion tonight.
Ooh, I second it.
Cool, roll call vote.
Chair Edwards,
Yes.
Vice Chair Lidke,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Erickson,
Yes.
Commissioner Brocky.
Yes.
Motion passes.
If you continue to work with staff, and I think you guys can get that clarified.
Clean that up. Clean that up.
We got a mixed bag tonight.
Yeah.
We had all the different options.
It's fun.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll
Thank
move
you.
to the agenda, section 7, staff updates, planning department report.
Yes, this is great to have the clicker here.
It's only taken you how many years?
I'm gonna need a meal after this meeting.
So, planning commission dinner, it's that time of the year.
Oh, I guess so.
It's maybe the easier part is when to do it. It seems we've always, has it always been a Thursday?
Seems like it.
Typically,
Yeah, I think we try other days and it doesn't work,
Yeah.
so.
And typically, it's been in September, like after school starts and after Labor Day, just so
Yeah.
everyone's back and.
I'm good, whenever you guys decide.
I'm open.
I've got a pretty full calendar, but I can work around it.
Does anyone have area, like places they would recommend? Food types even?
That Venezuelan place, Orampas, is pretty darn good. It's not just in Midvale though, but
And I believe they have, if you want to do it somewhere like that, that place, I believe, has a separate room.
yeah,
Oh, yeah?
they do.
Where is this place?
It's on 7200 on the north side.
It's by the new
near
7-Eleven.
East of Travis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have good what?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Really?
The corn pancake thing, so good.
We can go there.
Okay. Dates?
Not a week that we do this, so like the 17th.
The 17th? Okay, we'll let staff work towards that.
And we can also do something like catering at a park.
Oh,
or-
right.
I mean, I know we've used Shane's backyard, we've used
Candies.
Candies.
Andy's backyard.
We could go have a pool party at my place.
Do you have a clubhouse?
No,
Is the
well,
pool
I do,
built?
but it's little. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I'm in it all the time.
Okay.
But you have to come in your swimsuits.
Don't.
Yeah, we can
threaten me
have-
with a good time.
I say a restaurant because it's easier for everybody.
Yeah, and we don't know the
Make some-
weather.
Make someone else clean up.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Okay.
If someone comes up with a different restaurant, we can try it.
I always liked, where was Longhorn?
Oh,
Longhorn
That was
good.
good.
Delicious.
That was
Should we
really
do that
good.
in the winter again? That's
Yeah, the
like
winter
a
is good for
winter-
that.
Okay.
It's Johnny's favorite.
Can you wait that long, Shane?
Let's try the new, let's
So I
do,
guess
we'll
let's try the new
survive.
The
one.
other thing that's over there too is the Mexican place that replaced
Oh, yeah, the new Mexican place there.
That place is good too.
Anyway,
Oh, I've not been there yet.
Let's
Really
go.
good shrimp.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's do it.
the
Let's
old
do that
Buca de
one.
Beppo.
yes.
Oh, yeah. Or the old Chi-Chi's.
Yes, the
It's
cheese.
been
Oh,
many
my
things.
gosh.
No, nothing has
really
succeeded
used to be
there,
that?
so. Okay, we'll let staff decide.
Oh, you let us decide?
Yeah,
No.
either of those two is great. Yeah.
You can make a final
You
decision.
got two choices.
The other Mexican place?
Up
Is
by
it-
Longhorn.
It's right next door. Is it Cafe Vallarta?
It's like, yeah, it's like something Vallarta.
Cafe Vallarta.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
He's got
go
the
for it, guys.
accent.
Yeah.
You let us know.
Surprise us, but then tell us the address.
Yeah.
And we did say
And what
the
time?
17th?
The 17th.
Yeah, does that work?
It's on the 17th.
17th of September, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And should we bring our spouses?
No.
Yes.
Okay, you
I
can
can't
bring a
take I
date.
can't take mine anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Jaime will
talk
be so
about
pleased.
APA conference.
Yes. So
9th and 10th.
The APA conference is coming up September 9th and 10th. That's a Wednesday and Thursday, so it's a little different than it's been in the past. Well, I don't know if you can read the agenda, it's in the packet as well. There are actually, I think, pretty pertinent sessions on this particular one. So if you are interested, let us know.
Okay. Do you want me to reply to the email, or is this good enough?
That's good enough.
Okay.
I can remember one.
Okay.
I won't be able to make it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Massive.
I've got something, I can't remember what. It's a busy month for me.
I get paid and I get
believe
Cs.
we have three then with Candace can go. That gives us the better rate.
Tracy's
Yeah.
going, right?
I'll take one for the team.
Okay, so there's 4 of us.
Take one for me.
Yeah.
We're good friends like, no?
Okay, great, then we'll.
Bring me
we'll
home some
get
swag.
that good friend.
You love your swag.
Jane carries around a little bag with him.
And there's another one, the Utah Bike Summit, that's more of like a half-day type of thing. Bike Utah, which is the state's main advocacy organization, puts this on pretty much every year. And this year it's at the Cultural Celebration Center in West Valley.
In where?
West Valley.
West Valley.
Oh. I thought you said Death Valley.
No.
Convenient for the bikers.
Yeah, that's a good spot to ride your bike. So, anyway, if you're interested in that, you just Google it. Maybe for the session descriptions. But this one is it's already on the 18th, so that's coming up real quick.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Cool.
And that's everything. All of us have.
Perfect. I would move that we adjourn the meeting at 7:51 PM.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Look at this cool thing on my phone. So you just play this game. It's like pinball.
Well,
They did find the learn
Because I needed more things to